Welcome to Cyclops is Waiting for Me, an X-Men animated recap podcast with X-Men 97, Season 2, Episode 3. That's a lot of numbers. Here's one more titled Rise of Apocalypse Part 1. I'm JC. And I was telling Rod before we started, I accidentally messed up the script title in Google Docs, and they were called X-Men 91 originally, but that has been remedied for the most part.
That's the prequel series that's inevitably going to come out sometime later, right?
If they did the Pride of the X-Men continuation prequel or something like that.
That could be a fun little project if licenses worked out. I rewatched that, I don't know, maybe a couple of months ago. Mm-hmm. And it's it has this weird alternate universe things, like the super Australian Wolverine and stuff. And also Nightcrawler is really, really creepy. Yeah. He's just literally creeping on Kitty the whole time. But I loved Colossus in that, and Dazzler and stuff. We haven't seen Dazzler really that much, in that kind of a role.
Well, she's dead, so
yeah,
it's kind of a problem.
Nobody's really dead in that universe.
So that means they have to do the Necrotia storyline at some point, right? That's where all of the people who get killed in Genosha get brought back to life, because you have so many important characters Shaw from the Inner Circle, Moira, Banshee, Dazzler, Callisto. There's too many people who are dead that are important. So I feel they have to do that at some point. I don't know. Maybe that's season 3.
I would say we're in the middle of time travel now, so no one stays dead, right?
That's also a problem. Yes.
Yeah. And I'm Rod. You hear any
introduce yourself.
If you hear any banging or anything in the background, there's this never-ending construction going on in my duplex adjacent unit that was supposed to be over in 2 days in February, and they're still
say, how many months are you in right now?
Yep, we're at the point where I don't know. It's every time they pull up, I'm like, yep. For some, I don't know how much because I know how big that space is because it's a little bit smaller than the space I live in. Mm-hmm. I don't know how much more could be. It sounds like there's working from day one. There's sawing and banging and hammering and it's crazy. Anyway, so if you hear any noises, that's what that is. Cyclops is Waiting for Me is our podcast series where we're going back and watching every single X-Men animated series we can find. This podcast started with the original 1992 X-Men, the animated series, building up to the release of X-Men 97 Season 1. Since then, we've completed X-Men Evolution, Wolverine and the X-Men, and the X-Men anime. But we're back weekly for all of X-Men 97 Season 2. This week, we're here 3 times this week.
Yeah. Yes, we are. And if you notice a difference between the visuals from the last episode to this one, it's because we decided to sleep and stop instead of trying to power through 3 in rapid succession. So, unless Rod, you didn't sleep and you just edited it the whole time. So,
no, I slept a little bit. Tonight's gonna be a good night's sleep though, because it'll be the first time I get a normal night of sleep in a week and a half.
There you go.
This is the same shirt I was wearing in the last episode, though, because literally after yesterday's recording, I just took it off and put it on the desk right here. And then I walk back. It's summertime, by the way, in LA. And so I walk back and record and put the shirt back on. And Lucy's back here. She's just kind of chilling.
Yeah. And for me, this is a brand new shirt that literally I picked up at the UPS store today.
Nice.
There was a sale on not a sale, but the MSRP of the Marvel Magic the Gathering packs, the collector's packs, from the Disney store. So they were actually cheaper. But then because it was just shy of the free shipping, I bought an X-Men shirt to compensate for the free shipping.
Nice.
Yes. But it's a new shirt and I didn't have it, so it's okay. Some quick reminders. We are a recap show about an episode that isn't even a week old yet. There are going to be spoilers. If you don't want it spoiled for you, pause the podcast, watch the episode, and then come back. Don't say we didn't warn you. We are currently not sponsored or affiliated with Marvel Animation, Disney, or Disney Plus in any way.
And don't forget to follow us on social media at Cyclops IWFM Pod on Instagram, Threads, and Facebook.
So today we are talking about Season 2, Episode 3, titled Rise of Apocalypse Part 1. It aired on July 1st of 2026 alongside episodes 1 and 2 as part of a 3-episode premiere. Currently sits at an 8.6 star rating on IMDb. It is 0.1 higher than the previous 2 episodes. And I respectfully disagree.
Okay.
I don't think it's a bad episode. I think it's an 8. I don't think it's an 8.6.
It's tough because I still, I think I had mentioned something about like a vision with pyramids and a brick in like the first episode, second episode, and that was this one because like we most people would probably binged all three at the same time, and so like it's hard for me to separate the three episodes.
Fair. I feel like because it is a 2-part episode, like maybe after watching part 2 and the payoffs we get from it are going to help it, but like I feel like it just kind of got like an extra point because of like violence and like blood and stuff like that. Like it wasn't that it was bad by any means, but I was like, of all three, this is the one that is the highest, and it's the incomplete story. So
that's interesting. Yeah, I know one of the things that kind of like made it stand out to me though is like I'm not used to seeing Apocalypse before his origin story. Like, and so it was just kind of wild. Like, it almost, besides his mouth markings, it almost just registered as a different character.
Right, and he's also not in a suit the entire time, and you're seeing this massive, young, jacked up mutant. Like, so I could totally see having like a more dramatic change on him, especially, you look at episode 1 where it's future Apocalypse, who's literally just like dude in a coffin, essentially.
Yeah. He's Dracula recharging.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think I ever thought about it from the perspective of him just like being like a Dracula coffin scenario. That's pretty good.
I was gonna say he's kind of vampire, right? Because he like sucks the life out of society for a while and then like goes into sleeping for how long? Is like 100 years at a time or something?
Or he has to go in every 100 years. I can't remember what the...
Yeah, I can't remember how long it is. I know he has to go in every 100 years. I just can't remember like how long he's in there for. But it seems like a substantial amount of time.
I mean, enough to charge him up for 100 years at least, right?
Yeah.
So,
which still gets me like confused about his powers just a little bit, because like I read a little bit after I asked the question last episode about his powers. It's like, oh, he has the power to regenerate. I'm like, I guess the Lazarus Chamber is just to assist that, because it doesn't seem like supernatural if
it's... I don't think I ever really thought about it until now, but the Lazarus Chamber, and then there's the Lazarus Pit from Batman. That's where Ra's al Ghul like does his like recharging when he's near death and stuff like that. Wow, comic book writers just stole so much shit from each other.
Well, it's the Bible, right? It's a biblical reference.
Well, yeah, I mean, they also stole from the Bible, so...
Yeah.
Why is somebody beeping outside my window right now? Fuck off.
Probably the same reasons these douchebags are hammering for like the 6th consecutive month.
Yeah. Jumping into the episode itself, we start with the previously on. This one is voiced by Magneto, and I just love the fact that the previously on changes with who is like going to be a central figure in everything. Yeah. Quick note for those who didn't realize it, though. The voice of En Saba Nur and Apocalypse, once he's transformed, are different people performing it. Because it's a younger actor who I wasn't super familiar with doing the En Saba Nur voice. And then it is, oh my god, why am I blanking on his name? The voice of Xavier. Ross McQuaid. Oh. Sorry. Yeah. Ross is the voice of him in Apocalypse mode. So at one point, it's just going to be an episode of Ross yelling at himself. Right?
It's like David Arrigo Jr.
Just eating up the scenery against himself. Yeah, exactly. So in the previously on, it's the school being decimated. Forge and Bishop doing the exposition drop. It's not where they are; it's when they are. And you get the big Egypt reveal and Magneto saving En Saba Nur from those. Horus is the bird god, right? We talk about the Egyptian gods too much for not knowing who fucking any of them are, Rod.
Yeah, I don't know any of them. That's not sure. Let's go with that. It sounds right.
Yeah. One episode should just be us learning about Egyptian mythology, so we stop messing it up on this show. Goes right into the intro, and you get Magneto. You get Rogue, Beast, Nightcrawler, Xavier, and then they added specifically, and I think this is going to be referenced even more in the second episode of it, Bishop falling through the time stream which I believe was from the Beyond Good and Evil episode, was where that specific animation breakout is supposed to reference.
That's the one he runs into a hidden Kang.
Yes, exactly.
Which would reference this episode, I guess.
Yep. And then this one is the part that is going to lead to the most speculation online, at least from what I've seen so far. You have the shot from the finale where Xavier does the mind blast thing to Magneto. And then because of the theorizing that is happening around Onslaught already, that is the moment that starts the Onslaught stuff, essentially. So, so the future team is back. They're in the war room. And Forge is basically questioning the success of the plan because I guess if you have time travel devices and you say you need to meet up at a pretty specific time, you can't really be late for it no matter how long it takes you to do it, right?
Yeah. And also, who's paying the electric bill? That shit still works.
Not only does it still work, but there's like giant holes in the building.
Yeah.
And it's still like running properly.
So I just take it that war room, even though in the original series we saw it like on the perimeter walls of the mansion, is like a panic
because
room.
of the weird saber-tooth through the wall episode shit.
Yeah. Oh, and it also changes constantly through the series, but this is kind of like implying that it's like a panic room situation that's somewhere like maybe underground or something, like where there's backup power and like there haven't been holes blown into it and stuff. But I don't know.
A little bit more like the Evolution war room that is like very safely underground kind of scenario.
Yeah. Something like that.
Yep. Cyclops is like, all right, well, let's go to the past and get them. Forge gives the deniability that there's no way to pinpoint exactly where they are. And then Storm and is like, well, we just have to have hope.
The
because
woman
of course
faith.
Storm believes in hope. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Goes all the way back to ancient Egypt, and Apocalypse is watching the big dome. I get why they're doing it because they're trying to make it not be historically accurate. It's just really weird to see like the Egyptian skyline and then a big giant dome, because that's never been a part of like Egyptian lore or architecture and stuff like that. So
yeah, I
guess records just forgot that happened. You know,
I'd seen some other. Well, that's the whole thing though, right? Is like this is like a weird like alternate timeline. They're kind of implying that's going to like get erased at some point. Because
I don't know.
Because like they're talking about all this technology that comes from the future. Because even though they're like in 3000 BCE, there's like robots and shit, and I saw some other online people talk about how everything looks suspiciously celestial designed, which is like I kind of like that. Like,
well, to jump ahead a little bit, they're talking about finding the ship from the people from the stars.
Yeah.
What does empower Apocalypse in the comic books is celestial technology. That's part of what upgrades him, essentially. So
yeah. So it is a foreshadowing.
Yep. And then it could just be the whole theory about like, Dark Ages and Lost History is like after this ends in some big epic war and the survivors aren't able to translate it to something that, people will understand over time. And it's like, oh yeah, there's a big massive explosion. So there's nothing left for us to go after.
I kind of see that though now, especially because, we're in the age of like cloud data storage and stuff. And I was like, all it takes is for like
3 redundancies to drop at the same time, and certain stuff will be lost for forever.
Yeah, like if the Amazon servers go away, because people don't know, like Amazon servers run everything, like streaming services, your stuff on your phone and everything. But
AWS, man, it runs the world, and people don't know about
it. And people only know about it on the days that they specifically go down, because then like random apps stop working. But it's like if those go out and my personal hard drives rot away, like. We didn't exist, so I like now I can kind of see how like when they say like Atlantis, the lost city, I was like I could kind of see that being a real thing now, and like had disappeared, because like if they reached the point that we did and then it just wiped out their data, there's just nothing left, but a bunch of buildings.
And then we start to see a relationship got built between Magneto and I'm just going to call him Apocalypse.
Apocalypse,
just for saying it. It's just quicker. So you get the confirmation that he's the first of his kind. He's aware of it. And they have like a lot of this back and forth around like, before meeting him, he felt like he could only dream about survival. Magneto talks about, that's just what the oppressors want you to think. They actually do fear you. And then it's talking about how only those who have gone through struggle understand the true value of power. And I mean, I have the same concerns around this that Xavier pulls later in the episode. Is like, you're already in the past. You're fucking with the timeline. You're directly influencing somebody in the timeline. Like, how does that not, like, butterfly effect and totally change what the future is going to be when you go back? And
I kind of
no.
I kind of see Magneto's point, though, because you have to remember that from his perspective, he had, like, just left Genosha in that whole massacre. So he's just like, we're fucked anyway. Like,
yeah.
What's the harm in just trying? We have this weird opportunity to try something else.
So the movie Butterfly Effect didn't come out until after 2000, right?
I think so, because I was in college, I think.
Yeah, so he never watched what happened every time Ashton Kutcher tried to fix his mistakes and just proceeded to make the world worse and worse for everybody he knew. That's my takeaway.
I get it, but I guess, like, just Magneto specifically, he's kind of been through this twice now, once as a child,
absolutely.
And then with Genosha, I think, and for him, I think Genosha was like, that was the end of hope. Like, he would have gone down with that ship, but, like, yeah, I don't know. He's probably just like, fuck it. Like, because he's everything. He flips everything. He tries Xavier's methods. Like,
I mean, he literally, like, in the finale, declared war on the world. It was just like, fuck it. Let everything die right now. He did not care. Yeah. So, then you get the reveal of the, I didn't write down the name of the group. Was it Sandstormers or Sam?
I think it was Sandstormers. Yeah.
Yeah. Writing towards Ramatut, which we've all said to death already, is Kang. There's this, like, technical map going, and then you see the external, and I actually found out her name is Kandra, or Chandra. Not sure how to say it. But she is voiced by Deborah Wilson, who most people know from Mad TV and every fucking video game in the last, like, 15 years. She is a voiceover artist in it. It's amazing.
Nice. Good for her.
She's in 7,000 video games right now. So
awesome.
Yeah. And then the voice of Ramatut is Q from Star Trek, which
nice.
I didn't write down his full name, but that is Q from Star Trek. And then Baal, who is Apocalypse's, like, mentor guy, is actually Worf from Star Trek.
Oh, nice. Okay, just staying in the sci-fi realm. So, I guess, is this implying that the external then had some ulterior motive in the Externally Yours episode back in 92, or the 92 series? Because if she exists...
She exists, like, throughout time.
Yeah, but if she was a servant of a Kang variant, and then is receiving tithing from a random swamp, from these two camps of, like, thieves and assassins and stuff. Like you were saying, like, they're bringing in Gambit people. So, like, I don't know if she, like, I don't even know what her role would be in this Gambit thing.
Same. I don't know enough because she's a part of a group called the Externals in the comics. So this is definitely, like, having some sort of inspiration crossover. I've never read the Externals, though, so I don't have, like, any level of, like, even guess of what the historical connection is on there is beyond what we've been talking about here. So there is a quick comment that Kang gives around, like, it was only a matter of time about Apocalypse attacking. And I don't know if that is, like, a red herring of, like, because he's lived throughout the cosmos or the eons and centuries and stuff like that he's referring to, like, he knew this was going to happen, he just didn't know when, for Apocalypse as a whole, or if he's kind of, like, blissfully unaware of Apocalypse and it's more of the like, it was a matter of time before this mutant like rose up to attack me and just is like a regular uprising. Like I don't know if it's the gravity of the situation or just like, oh, they were going to fight me at some point anyway, right?
Yeah, he figures he's like a giant dome in the desert. Someone's going to come at some point.
Yep. And then he sends General Logos to stop him from getting to the temple. And General Logos is actually voiced by Chris Britton, aka Mr. Sinister.
Nice. I also I kept in my notes kept saying Lobos because I'd just seen Supergirl, and I just rewatched it. I was like Logos.
Was it with a G or with a B? Because the way he pronounced it, I thought it was a B at first.
Oh yeah. In the captions it says G.
Oh, it does. Ah, the pronunciation fucked with me on that one then. Good. And then you see a little bit of a pullout where there's robot guards in addition to these like snake men. You see a bunch of slaves who are getting rid of what looks like a different pharaoh's statues and putting up Rama Tut's statues instead. And then they have this giant mutant elephant thing.
I think the elephant size was crazy. Like, so is Apocalypse the first mutant and then the elephant is the second? Or was the elephant really the first mutant? Like, that's crazy.
Maybe Apocalypse is like the first X-gene mutant.
Right, the first human mutant.
And the elephant thing is like, high evolutionary genetic sorcery. I mean, he literally made snake men too, so like he's definitely playing with biology and shit. So
yeah.
So maybe the elephant is a mutate instead of a mutant. Maybe that
got it. It was I wasn't born with the.
But it was like crazy big. Like it's bigger than the elephants in like the Lord of the Rings like fight and stuff like that. Like it's so stupidly big.
It's the size of like the roughly 2-story. I know there's not stories really, but building it was like the walls it was in.
Yeah,
and stuff like it could see over the barrier wall. That's how big it was.
Yep. And then Logos gives what I put as a quote unquote encouraging speech to the slaves. And it was basically like, they're going to tell you that you're going to be free, but I'll still fucking kill you. That was kind of like his big takeaway from it. Apocalypse Ball and the Sandstormers have their little moment. Ball points out about Apocalypse becoming the leader. And then Magneto and Astral Xavier are watching. Xavier does not trust Apocalypse at all. And like I said, I don't blame him. Fair. And then Magneto's like, well, you gave me the trust in your school. And it's like, this is a little bit of a different scenario. Like, even if Magneto had, like, started to fuck up the school, which he didn't do, like, Beast and Cyclops and Jean were all still there. Like, it wasn't like it was just, like, giving him a bunch of, like, brand new students that he could totally mess around with. So.
Yeah. Although, once again, I kind of see Magneto's point. He was like, you can't be upset, because that he is doing what essentially Charles did to like his students. It's like, this is not acceptable. He's like, well, trust me, bro.
Right. I do like though that it did lead because this version of Apocalypse has very attractive features online, and there's a bunch of people doing the I can fix him meme with Magneto and Apocalypse, and it's always one of the images where his like muscles are like just totally like yoked out and stuff. So
I mean, he is jacked. It is. I like how they what was the Logos later was telling him like that disfigured face. I'm like, and you could even see Apocalypse like he partially covers his face, probably because of the sand, but also like he's somewhat ashamed of the markings on his face and stuff. Is like, my dude, like that just is more proof of like insecurity can hit anyone, because like everything else is chiseled.
I was gonna say, let's be real. Most people don't even notice he has a face at this point.
Right.
So Magneto emphasizes the fact that it's the Pharaoh's tech is definitely from the future. It's what Beast needs to get stuff done. Xavier, for reasons different than me, is refusing to even call him En Saba Nur. And then Apocalypse goes and he gives he gives us a speech to, get all the Storm Riders ready to go. And okay, I've been to 7 million wrestling shows in my life. Survival of the fittest is not a good chant. The cadence of the chant is not good.
Oh.
It's too many syllables, honestly.
And I guess that's more of like their Mad Max mantra, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And speaking of wrestling, I was going to ask you, what is that move that he does to the elephant? I see that all the time. But I know there has to be a name for it. When he like swings him around.
So ironically enough, like usually it's grabbing somebody by their legs and doing it and like spinning around with it. It is literally just called a big swing.
Oh, okay.
It's the like least inventive name of any wrestling move, but it is like the big swing. Like, and there'll be somebody who like I think Claudio Castagnoli would do that, and I think he had a like version of it that was his own name. But if you go into make a wrestler in the WWE video game, it's Big Swing. So yes, that's a great question. So that should also have been like the flag for Magneto, that the whole like, I'm going to teach him mercy isn't working, because he's like, I'm teaching him like to be better, and it's like survival of the fittest means he's going to kill the rest, right?
But also we found out later it's also for their own soldiers. Like they're willing to sacrifice whoever can't make it past the battle.
Mm-hmm. And then your favorite big old fight.
That's my note.
Robot traps start happening. And then there's a mega like pile-on. Going back to wrestling, I've referred to this as the Big Show spot, where you just get so many people on top of like the mega strong person, and then they bust out. But Logos has thought that they essentially won, so he closes the door on it. The breakout happens, and the gates fly open. So he doesn't need the rest of this group. Right? Like, he does this entire fight by himself, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of why he says later that they fear him, right? They're not really following him. Mm-hmm. So he's just kind of there partially for show, and probably to take out, like, some of the other, like, goons that are surrounding everybody. But, like, I once again, I wish we would have seen what happened at the dog pile, because I feel like it would help me understand a little bit more what his power set is, at least initially.
I think it's, like, literally just, like, he gets so powerful, the energy is explosive, and they just all go flying in different directions. I don't think you would have gotten anything beyond like, look how fucking strong he is. He throws
you think it's
not very heavy robots, It
was just strength. Because I when the red eyes happened, I was like, oh, did he like vaporize them? Like that would have been cool.
So yeah, he a smiling Magneto like looks over to Apocalypse, and you get these flashes in the shadows and dust of the modern Apocalypse walking through towards
that was pretty
Logos,
dope.
and that was probably my favorite shot of the entire episode.
That was pretty dope. Yeah, because it's supposed to kind of foreshadow, right, of like Xavier's kind of right.
He's still coming. Yeah,
like you can't really and they this is a theme that goes out throughout the show so far. Is like you can't rewrite the future or something, like like there's these like set points. And so, like, he's just gonna be him. There's no changing him.
Yeah, it's kind of like with Cable, where it's like, how many did you try to save Madeline? And he's like 200, right?
Yeah, it's a fixed point in time.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Apocalypse decides not to kill because he knows Magneto is judging him, and they
literally hovering above him. Literal helicopter parent. It's like right above.
You see Nightcrawler has gone back to where Xavier and Rogue and Beast are, and has some of these parts, and Xavier is like, oh yeah, you nobody saw you, right? And then Nightcrawler gives the like, there's a bunch of robot soldiers running around. Do you think a blue demon is really gonna like flag on people's radar at this point?
Yeah, not to mention the giant energy dome in the middle of the desert.
Again, like there's got to be some sort of like information was lost, Dark Ages shit going on. Like there's no way everybody just forgot this happened.
Their iCloud failed.
Beast is working on one of the robots to power their their mechanism to get home. It explodes. He's pissed. And then he's basically like, kind of shit talks the Pharaoh's technology. He's like, how is it so advanced but also so primeval at the same time?
Yeah. Which is like, kind of fair, because it's like Star Wars tech, right? It's like, wow, this is light years beyond the our future, but also like everything's dusty. Yeah.
Right. Isn't that a thing from like one of the Mandalorian seasons, like the woman who could repair like the droid or the ship or something? She literally is just like punching it with a wrench.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, super advanced. This will make you go through like light speed, but also she's just like banging on it, and that's what fixes the problem. So.
Yeah.
You get a little bit of Kurt kind of feeling like Storm, because he's like, well, maybe people aren't meant to mess with time, which is a weird thing to say when you have literally been sent through time.
Through time, yeah.
And you have multiple team members who have gone through time before in the past too. They're convinced as a group that Logos is going to be the key, and then you find out that they've been like holed up in this like little room that is like a secret passage.
Yeah, it's kind of like whenever you watch Indiana Jones and he goes to like one of the pyramids, and they're like, oh, look behind this, the hieroglyphics and stuff, and you push the button, and it's like that thing. How they found it, I don't know, Nightcrawler, who knows?
Because there are people who are literally living in like holes in a cave, like a few feet from them, but they're inside a temple that has mechanically operating like doors and stuff like that are hidden doors too. And then I do love the phrasing of like, we're basically trusting our oldest adversary and our most merciless one at the same time.
Yeah, but they're enemies. It's a nice like escalation from last season where we just have to trust Magneto. Now we have to trust Magneto, and it's like this like scourge on there, because the Apocalypse just kept coming back in the original series.
Yeah.
Now it's like
I mean, Apocalypse was originally supposed to be the series finale had that fifth season not gotten renewed. So
yeah.
Everybody's returning to the mountain base, and you get a little more of the back and forth between Magneto and Apocalypse. He now feels like he is no longer being viewed as just a monster, but also being viewed as their leader. Apocalypse wants to still kill Logos, but Magneto is basically like, yeah, you could be powerful, but like you're literally a dude stepping on ants if you kill this tied up unarmed guy at this point.
Yeah, so it was like they're like only a coward would be a god that steps on ants, something like that. Like
would feel powerful when stepping on ants.
Yeah.
And then Apocalypse alludes to the fact that Baal would not agree with this, and just overall doesn't necessarily trust outsiders. And that's also kind of alluding to the fact that he probably knows that Baal is like waiting for a shoe to drop on Magneto and crew too.
Yeah.
This is where Beast is pretty against the whole interrogation concept too, because he's like, so we're just gonna let our biggest enemy ask nicely to find out what Logos knows about. I fucked up that whole thing, didn't I? Yeah.
It was Xavier, right?
Yeah, I'll reset it. So at that point, you're inside, the team's chatting, and Beast voices pretty heavily that he disagrees with the idea of letting Apocalypse interrogate Logos. And Rogue is very much like, yeah, Xavier, you should just do this. And Xavier's just very risk averse. And he's like, well, if I go into his brain, that risks like messing up the time stream more. And it's like, you also literally are letting your best friend influence this future despot. Like, I don't think you reading the mind of a single random general is going to be the thing that fucks up the time stream at this point.
And isn't it like, I think it's Nightcrawler that points out and is like, maybe it's destiny that like your specific power is what could solve this situation.
Yes. Yeah. Nightcrawler just points out the irony of it, essentially. It's like, thanks, Kurt. That was helpful. You know what I think it is, man? Like, because we talked about this in episode 1, where it's like Morph has no real place here other than to be like the comic relief.
Mm-hmm.
Kurt has no real place here other than to like give like cutesy moments so far. Obviously, we don't know what part 2 is going to be until Wednesday. But I think it really just came down to they needed to only have Sunspot and Jubilee left behind. So that's why they forced the others to do the time jumps with them. Because I don't think they actually played like a story piece here. I think it was more so they just needed them off the board for the 1997 time spot.
The only little thing, and it's not even a big thing that Nightcrawler was like a little functional with, was transporting the robot parts, giving like a viable reason, like way that they did that without being like seen transporting them. It's stuff, but that could have been so many other people to like
there are a million ways they could have worked around that. Totally.
Yeah.
And I lost where I was in my notes. Essentially, Beast emphasizes in the same way that Forge did in episode 1 that they just need to leave like ASAP. They just need to get out of there before they fully fuck up the timeline. So. Apocalypse arrives, kind of gives like a little like celebratory thing to the group, points out that it's not just a victory for him, it's a victory for all of them. I don't know why he's thinking it's a victory for all of them, because they all stayed back and did nothing while this fight was going on.
They didn't die, so
he mentions that he had always like dreamed of others like him. That's when Baal arrives and basically shit talks dreams.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's like, I've never seen a dream win a victory. He had like 2 things that were basically like, stop dreaming. Apocalypse tells him to be gentle, which is the most un-Apocalypse phrase ever.
Yeah.
And I thought Baal was just going to tell him to go like fuck himself.
Yeah. Because we don't know what Baal has seen. Like, we presume he's seen like horrific things, like living on the other side of Pharaoh's like slavery and stuff.
Yeah.
So he's like, listen, like we've like dreamed for generations, but it doesn't do anything.
Yeah. So Baal points out that they should have kept going while they had the momentum, and it was the fear of the Pharaoh that stopped Apocalypse from going all the way. And I think you started mentioning this earlier on. He's willing to sacrifice his soldiers because Magneto's like, you don't know how many people were going to die if we kept pushing. Like, be strategic, do intelligence, don't just keep pushing through the walls at the sake of your own men's lives just to keep it going. And then Baal's response is essentially like, yeah, well, maybe if they died, they weren't fit to survive in it. So.
Survival fittest.
Yep. Some more like stuff where it's like Magneto is essentially saying like, it's not just meant to be a leader to rule the world. It's like Apocalypse's chance to save it. And then you get more of the back and forth between Xavier and Magneto. It's like he's meant to be the destroyer and you're trying to coerce him into my dream. Which I get the sentiment of. Like, it's like, yeah, that would be great if you could convert Apocalypse into it. But it's like, is it nature or nurture? Like, what are those scenarios? Like, was there ever a chance you could convert this person? And maybe because Magneto started to feel it, that's why he believes that somebody else could be turned too.
I know like no one's thinking in their like straight mind in times like this. But I was like, as an outsider looking in, I was like, you have to kind of choose a lane. So if you're saying we can't trust him because he's irredeemable, then just stab him in the head. Like right there. That solves it. You're
literally giving the War Machine argument right now. Like,
oh yeah,
just
Oh yeah. Well, that's the thing though. Is like, but if you truly believe he's irredeemable to the point where you're arguing that your friend can't like influence him.
Yeah.
Then
why not just take care of it? Just
take care of it. But if you if you don't think that, let him try. You just
Yeah. I'm also thinking like Beyond Good and Evil was the interaction that Apocalypse had with Magneto. But the other incidents with Apocalypse, Magneto was not at all involved with. So
yeah,
I get, and of course they don't know about him showing up at the ruins of Genosha and with the card and stuff like that either. So
Yeah.
it's like Magneto is kind of trusting Xavier's word as to like how bad he is, I guess,
Yeah.
but not fully because he thinks he can redeem him.
Yeah.
And Magneto points out it's like, well, he could have just become not just the first mutant, but be the first X-Men. And if you do shit right 5,000 years prior, how much better is the world going to be? And Magneto doesn't care about the time stream. Magneto's like, the time stream has been fucked. Like to what you were like kind of like hinting at earlier. It's like humanity messed this up so many times. Do we really want to just let them repeat the same mistakes that led to like, you know, the Crusades, the, you know, World Wars, all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
So he also brings up that it is mutual fault of the two of them for Genosha. It's like, I was the one who brought people there, but you made me believe your dream, and that's why everybody died. Which is a pretty harsh take on Magneto's part, right?
Yeah. Once again, though, like, I don't know why I'm citing that Magneto in this whole episode. It's like they were your ideal.
I'm just going to buy you a Magneto was right shirt, and we're just going to leave it at that.
It's just like, because I kind of do the same thing when like, me and some of my friends have this rule of like whoever cares most wins, you know, especially in the like 40s. And so if someone's like really like, oh, it has to be this way, it's like, we're going to do it 100% your way, so that whether it works out or not work out, it's on you, you know. And I think this is like, this was your ideal. Like, you know, we were going to do it peacefully. We were going to, you know, mind our own business, and the world was going to be perfect. Remember? Yeah.
Yeah. So in the end, that's where Magneto is like, you and the X-Men get to return to a world that is your dream if this works out. But he also phrased it where I don't know if he was necessarily planning on going back with them either.
Oh, interesting.
Because he's like, you and the X-Men get to go back. Like, he didn't say we go back. He said you and your X-Men.
Huh. Interesting. Yeah, I didn't even.
So I wonder if that was like, I have to stay behind to make sure he stays on the straight and narrow.
That makes sense. Yeah, because like if he's going to mend, he can't just trust that the rest of his life is going to be fine.
Given his history, yeah.
But I do like the idea that Magneto proposes. What if he's the first X-Man? Like that'd be kind of nuts. Although, I think he's messing up the timing a little bit, because to be an X-Man, technically Xavier has to exist, right? So you've got a few centuries. But
did you see there was a meme? I apologize, I can't remember which account it was, but they were like coming up with the names for it, and it's Cyclops and Xavier, and it's like, seems a little indulgent to use your last name for it, and it's like, well, do you really want me to use my first name for it?
Yeah.
So in the interrogation room, Logos is upside down, and he's kind of laughing about it. Apocalypse doesn't realize that Logos was actually his first master. Mentions that this is all stuff we've probably hinted at in past episodes, but just for people who didn't know, it was like he was abandoned by his mother. He was left in the sand to just like die, essentially. And then he taunts Apocalypse into the point where he's just basically trying to get him to kill him. And thankfully he didn't have a straight sword. He had the weird hook sickle thing, because Magneto saves him when that is like literally like circled around his head. So, which is a great visual too.
Yeah.
He leaves Logos to Magneto and Xavier, and mentions that the Pharaoh is on the precipice of a big discovery. My interpretation of that is essentially, this is what is going to superpower Apocalypse, like to elevate him beyond what he is with the celestial tech. And Ramatut Kang is trying to do that himself with that celestial tech. So it's going to be like the race to the, you know, weather converter or whatever the thing was from the G.I. Joe premiere, you know?
Oh.
The super MacGuffin, essentially.
Yeah.
So, there's the Lost Temple, which is from the divine beings from the stars. Again, that's celestial technology. Literally celestial technology.
Celestials, yeah.
Yep. and Xavier knows that this is probably the power source to get them home, and he goes into his mind, and that's where he's pulling bricks out of pyramids.
Yeah, that was the thing I thought I saw like 2 episodes ago or something.
Mm-hmm. And then this is the scene that everybody is going to say we are getting Onslaught this season, because he gets pulled into the pyramid, and there's a cracked moon in the shape of the Magneto Onslaught helmet, essentially. So,
okay.
And I gotta say this, like, I didn't read Onslaught when it first came out. I read it when I got back into comics about 5 or 6 years after. Like, it came out during my break from buying comics.
Yeah.
I don't dislike the Onslaught story. I don't love the Onslaught story either. There's something about it that just didn't hook me the way something like Age of Apocalypse did, or like House of M. It just felt like very like of its time in the 90s. And I also genuinely don't believe most of the people who are like freaking out over the Onslaught story know the character beyond him being like the boss in like Marvel versus Capcom and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like I genuinely don't know how many people that are freaking out for the character have read the character and understand what he is. So
I have no comment.
I could be fully wrong on that. Like, but I'm like, I hear Onslaught and I don't get excited for Onslaught. Onslaught he's a replaceable villain to me. So
I have no comment.
Yeah. But like, I mean, you're actually like a really good like litmus test for like outside of when you and I started doing this show. What did you know about Onslaught? Like, that's actually like
the video game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's most people that are like posting memes online. Like, not all these people were reading comic books in the 90s that are like, Onslaught's the best. I'm like, is he?
It's whoever's presented. I feel like there was a lot of people that weren't like on the Thanos until Infinity War, was getting closer.
Oh, yeah.
Because like he was kind of like he was a villain. I remember as a kid, like vaguely, but I mean I don't know if when I was a little kid would have like thought that Thanos was going to be like the ultimate thing of like the biggest movie that ever happened in history.
If you were not, if you didn't read the original Infinity Gauntlet in the 90s. Like, there's no reason to think he was going to be the big bad.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
there's the whole story in the mid 2000s for Annihilation, where Drax literally just like punches a hole through his chest and kills him. Like,
nice.
And it's like Drax at the time is like the Guardians are a C plus B minus team at that point in the cosmic story, which is lesser than the X-Men, lesser than the emerging Avengers story with like House of M, like all that stuff. It was just like, yeah, like that's totally what it is. But there's just this aura around. I don't know. It's just because he has a really cool design, and that's why people have such like, love for Onslaught. But I just personally, it doesn't hit me the same way as a lot of people do. So
gotcha. Yeah.
Then he gets dragged under the sand in like this hourglass, and then this entity, for lack of a better term, because I legit don't have theories as to what this thing is, but there's this like eye that's sort of like a black hole. And it was on the tide that crashes all the rocks to the eternal shore. So it's like all this metaphysical shit, and that's
a paraphrase of what Apocalypse says in the original series, though. I think that's
was it. I don't remember that. So if you do,
Apocalypse
please.
says something similar about crashing on the shore and stuff. So I was thinking, like, is this Apocalypse, or is this just where Apocalypse got that from? I kind of because he talked about like this is where everything ends, and he's the beginning of the end. Yeah. With my limited knowledge, I just kind of like thought about Loki and like that Kang. Since we already saw Kang in here, is this that Citadel?
Oh, He Who Remains, thing? Essentially.
Yeah, is this that like area? If it's the end of time, I don't know.
Well, the temple, and I made the mistake of not looking it up, but the temple that you do see, it reminded me of the temple from Beyond Good and Evil, where that's essentially his base, and it looks like just a visual update to that. So, it's kind of like the one at the end of time, whatever that ends up meaning. And then the voice says, "This is where he is where the end begins." Don't know if that's specifically referring to Ramatut. Don't know if that's specifically referring to Apocalypse or a third entity. And then Xavier gets kicked out.
Mm-hmm. I assume that meant Apocalypse just by the virtue of what his name would become, but like,
Xavier doesn't feel like at that point. So he's kicked out, and it's him and Magneto. And then I think there is a like half-second time jump that like I had to like actually rewind 30 seconds on it, because he's walking with the team where they weren't with them during the interrogation, saying that he doesn't think they should know the location. There's a candle that blows out, and then they go back into their hidden room, and you see Apocalypse, Baal, and Logos in that room. So I think that was supposed to be something happen where he goes, talks to the team, and then they're going back to their hidden room, and that's when Apocalypse and Baal have brought Logos into there.
Gotcha.
Because if you take it for just like the beat of the scenes without a commercial break or something like that, and maybe that's where it's like, to your point of the ad version of this actually puts breaks into it, that wouldn't have felt like a direct, like, they go from this room into this other room that Logos was actually in there with, you know?
Yeah. This is kind of the pace of this version of the show, though, right? Because this is once again the speed running of the whole thing. It's like, we can't just leave Jubilee there. Oh, look, she's back.
And I don't have a problem with the speed run by any means, but it literally felt like the character teleported to another room. It was kind of like not as extreme the scenario of like, oh, it normally took people to march from across Westeros like 8 months, and then they did it in 14 minutes in the last season, you know? So they're there. What? Oh, I got through almost 3 full episodes, Rod, without having an issue with my notes. Something. Is it time jump? I don't know what that phrase is. But essentially, a bunch of accusations are popping up. What have you been doing? You've been pulling all this technology. You were building a weapon against me. Xavier is... Oh, that time jump comment was me saying to point out that there was a time jump between the previous scene and this one. Yay, we figured it out. Apocalypse is even holding the X-Men logo from one of their uniforms in his hand. And it's like, oh, we're just going to burn that into this young guy's memory that he's going to hate this for the rest of his existence. 5,000 years later, this little X logo is still pissing him off.
Yes, first big betrayal with somebody he trusted.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, because... he was never betrayed by the Masters because they were always pieces of shit to him. Baal was always encouraging him to go to war, so it's not like... as awful as the other two were, they were always honest, you know?
Yeah, they were consistent. Yeah, and then Magneto, to En Saba Nur, like, Magneto might as well just be an X-Men, because he's with the crew, you know?
Yep. So, big old fight happens, and you get the reveal that Bishop has been... hiding under the cloaks of one of these, the Sandstormers.
But the big old fight starts because he, En Saba Nur beheads Logos.
Yes. Sorry, I did. Yeah. Especially after talking about how this episode got extra points probably because of blood and stuff like that. And then it's such a good dead man switch that it wasn't like I'm going to implant a bomb in Logos. It was I'm going to make a tracker that when they kill him, that's when it goes off, because it's like, if they kill him in my first gate area, then I have to worry about like him blowing up and ruining more of my fences and stuff. If they take him as a prisoner and then they kill him, I know exactly where they are, because they're probably not going to kill him randomly in the middle of the desert. They're going to interrogate him, try to learn from him and stuff like that.
Yeah, it almost looked like there might even been like a visual component to it too. They didn't show any of that, but I could, like, because it was in his eye, I was like, oh, did it send him like some visual confirmation too or something? You know, that'd be great, kind of crazy.
Maybe, yeah. at the very least, it was sending a beacon, and then Lord knows what else was going back to him. Yeah, was he watching the entire time, you know?
Yeah, there you go.
I mean...
That would have been crazy. But the beacon thing is kind of interesting because I feel like that was the original timeline for before Jonathan Majors got fired. Because remember at the end of Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings, the rings, they said, well, they're emitting a beacon. Like, to what? I feel like originally it was supposed to be to Kang. Whatever the rewrite's going to be for Doomsday. Because they said a beacon, right? And then thinking Ms. Marvel, they said the same thing. It's like her bangles were like emitting beacons or whatever. So it's like... Maybe this was supposed to be like the reoccurring theme was like it would beacon to Kang.
I don't remember it from Shang-Chi, but I do remember it from Ms. Marvel. So that's
Shang-Chi.
Damn it, Rod. Stop solving the MCU.
It's the after credits because it's when like Captain Marvel and Wong and stuff are like it's emitting a beacon. Like to what? Mm-hmm. And then cuts to black. And it's like. It was probably going to be a Kang story at that point because the director of Shang-Chi was supposed to do Kang Dynasty, so it would make sense. Like,
so Bishop is like, "Cool, we got to get the F out of here," and he has like the bracelets for everybody else. But at that same time,
back to the 90s.
Oh yes, there. Actually, so the gold missile thing starts off first. Uh-huh. And then it's the back to the 90s line.
Yeah, the 1990s. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, not just the 90s, specifically points out the 1990s.
Yeah, I guess it's fair. If you're in like 3000 BCE, you have to specify which 90s.
Yeah. I mean, it could be to the 1890s to see the origin of Mr. Sinister, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Xavier has kind of like, well, the time to redeem Apocalypse is over. Sorry, Magneto. You fucked up. Apocalypse gets back up and looks like he's ready to throw down again. And then the beam hits, leaves this like massive smoking crater, and you don't know what's happened to anybody. Obviously, people are not dead. Or all those other shots that we've seen from the trailers to the rest of the season are fucked. I also don't think you could genocide the X-Men that quickly in rapid succession. And it ends on a laughing Rama Tut with the to be continued on it because this is a 2-part episode. So we have two-part episodes this season. This one and then the finale's 2 parts, I believe.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
I think that's right.
The graphic I had you make. So
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I like I was saying, it's not that I don't like the episode. I just don't know if it was necessarily better than the previous 2. So,
I guess we'll see. Do you think? I wonder how many of those reviews are from people who saw part 2. Because I think the Tribeca and possibly the Disney lot screening was the first 4 episodes, I think.
The Disney lot screening, I think, was only 2.
I was only 2. Okay, I know that the film festival, and I heard everybody come out there saying they watched the first 4 episodes.
But on IMDb, there aren't ratings for 4 yet.
Oh, okay. I don't know that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get the benefit of the doubt.
No, totally. Yeah, it could just be... Once you've seen all of it, it feels better. I mean, I think I still rated it a 9 on IMDb to like, if I'm gonna rate, like I'm gonna lean higher on it to counter just like random trolls and shit like that. So
yeah.
Also,
it's so fun.
Right now, the trivia is so light compared to what the trivia was on the first episodes of last season. Like, I think between the 3 episodes, there are only 4 pieces of trivia between all of them right now.
I mean, right now it's mostly like characters, right? Like for the most part, the storyline's kind of stuff. Yeah, the storyline's kind of just going straight forward right now. And maybe somebody can tell me if I'm correct in that the thing that black hole said was like a paraphrase of what Apocalypse said back in the original series. But I feel like I just remember this is how my brain works. It was because I think they were in Scotland or something, and there was like they were by a shore or a cliff or something, and he said something about crashing on the shore. And so then we heard it again here. It was like, is that a reference to that? It feels like it would be if it's part of Apocalypse's origin story. But
totally.
I don't
know. I also just think it's interesting because it's like everybody is going to to Facebook with memes and stuff like that, and that's how we got like the list of all of the mutants from episode 2, and then it was there was, I found Jeb for the final Horseman by myself, and then through him, one of the wikis, I got the other names for it, but it's like those are, it doesn't even say what comic run the final Horseman came from on the IMDb trivia. It literally is just like, these are the names of the people.
Yeah.
So
interesting. I don't know.
Maybe I'm the only psychopath who still has a pro IMDb account that edits stuff on there. So
I will say IMDb is a little expensive, especially for like working actors, I would say. Like, because if anybody knows, like, people who are like surviving off commercials, like a couple $100 is like kind of steep for like a database thing.
My biggest problem is I don't want anybody messing with my TV credits, even though my TV credits are more than 15 years old at this point. I still want, like, if you put my name in, I don't want somebody else being able to mess with it, which unfortunately had happened, which is why I paid for it in the first place.
Yeah.
So.
I'm just saying, like, in the general like, as far as like the great populace, like putting stuff into the show and like in the notes of the show, it's like, I feel like it's thinning out as like acting work is getting replaced by AI.
And the AI is not good at pulling trivia, so.
Yeah.
Rod, any closing thoughts before we wrap up and get we actually get like a 6-day break or 5-day break before we record again, so there's that.
Yeah. No, I still enjoyed it. Like I said, I'm not used to seeing Apocalypse in his, like, kind of like thirst trap days. So like this is really interesting for me to kind of see. It's like, because at least in this continuity, it feels like his origin story was inevitable, and it was because of Magneto and the X-Men, which is like such an interesting concept. That, like, because it kind of continues this theme of like the X-Men create their own enemies.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like if Xavier had pushed harder on Bastion's parents, maybe he wouldn't have genocided Genosha,
Something, yeah. Or if they would have like stayed out of Ep7 Year's whole Sandstormer camp and stuff, like maybe he would have been a terrible person, but not like an immortal, like tyrant, like.
So basically you're saying all of this is the fault of Phoenix for sending them to the past and future at the same time.
Let's just blame it on the bad Dark Phoenix movies that came out. I don't know how. Somebody can make the tie, but...
Yeah, if somebody can find that connection, you'll be Rod's hero. So. All right. Thank you guys for joining us. If you have any thoughts, please make sure to drop them into the comments for either the YouTube videos, the Spotify upload, or any of the Instagram posts about this episode. And if you like what you heard, we'd appreciate a rating on the podcast app of your choosing, or share it, honestly. If you could share it, that would be amazing. Rod and I are not good at making memes, so our IG doesn't grow as quickly as other accounts do. They do deserve it, so it's not taking away from that. But it's like, share our clips, because that's what actually will help us get more audience and more people to talk about X-Men with.